Hey, what's up? You're here today with Nick the Informative Fisherman, and today we're going to be discussing spinning reels on how to use them and how to understand them, from ultralight reels to your medium-sized bass reels all the way up to your surf casting reels. Okay, first off, let's discuss the basic parts of a spinning reel. Naturally, you have your handle, okay, which you reel it with. And this is your bail, this wire right here going over. Now what this is for is this is to release the line just before you're going to cast. So what you would do is you would trap the finger right there against the line. You use your finger to pinch the line up against the actual rod. Then you open the bail with your thumb. And if you want to cast, you make that momentum backwards, and as you're going forward, just like a whipping motion, you release the line with your finger. Now once the line hits the water, you can either close the bail with your hand, or you could start to reel and the bail should automatically close. Now, no matter the size of the spinning reel, all the parts are virtually the same. You have your handle, and this is your drag up here, okay? Now and then you'll have them on a spinning reel on the bottom. And what a drag is for when a fish is pulling hard on your line, you want your reel to be able to feed him some line so it doesn't break it if you're using lighter strength line. And by adjusting it all the way to the left, and you can feel it getting looser when you pull on your line, this is going to save you from breaking off with the fish. Now say you have really strong line on a much bigger reel, say you're using 25-pound tests and you're catching 15-pound fish and you don't want to give them any drag, you can tighten it up real tight to where it's really difficult to pull drag off of there. But learn your drag, it's very important. Okay, now here we have a surf casting reel, which is much larger. It's a much larger spinning reel than what I've been showing you before with your ultralight and your medium-sized spinning reels. Now, these guys work exactly the same. Your drag's right here on the top, so remember to learn to use your drag. See, that's given there. When I tighten it up, it doesn't want to give. Okay, your bail's right here on top, so I have to give it a little bit of line here. Pinch the line against my finger, open the bail, make my momentum backwards, and as I'm going forward in a whipping motion, I release the line. I can either start to reel to close the bail, or I can manually close it with my hand. Either way is fine. Now when you purchase your spinning reel, you need to understand exactly, the size of the spinning reel you're getting. If you're getting a little tiny one, the line capacity is going to be much smaller and you're not going to be able to cast strong line. So for example here, as you can see on the line capacity here, right on the side of the reel, it'll show you have 2-pound test and 165 yards, so you can get a lot of yardage, but it's extremely light line. So you're going to be wanting to catch really small fish if you're going to use that light of line. As you can see further up, 4-pound test at 105 yards, 6-pound test at 60 yards. So your line capacity on your reel is very important to pay attention to. So I'll show you another close-up of the much larger reels and you can see how the line capacity is going to change. Okay, now here's a close-up of my spinning reel for surf casting, which is the very large one. Now as you can see here, it says 20-pound test at 240 yards, so it's really strong line and quite a bit of yardage. That's something you wouldn't be able to pull off with using one of those little tiny reels. Okay, so you have to understand the larger the reel, the bigger the line capacity, and how strong of test you can use. Okay, great. Now that you have a better understanding of your spinning reels, next thing you need to know is which setup you're going to use to target which type of fish. Whether it's a small type of panfish, need it be bluegill or crappie, and you want to use an ultralight setup, or you can even use a medium setup. Whatever one fits your preference a little bit better, you can go with a sensitive bite on this if you're having a tough time feeling them, or a little bit less sensitive bite on the bigger setup, or if you're going to target a little bit bigger fish, per se like bass or trout, you would want to use your medium setup type spinning rod here with maybe a line capacity that maxes out around 10 or 12-pound tests. Or say you want to tackle a monster, you want to get out there to the beach, or you're getting out there on a boat and you want to pull in a big shark, you're going to want to use one of your surf setups here. Now the most important key thing is if you're not purchasing a combo, which means the reel comes with the rod and you're buying a spinning rod separate from a spinning reel, here's your rod, here's your reel, these are separate items. This is not just a fishing rod, okay? A rod is just this piece, your reel is just this piece. The combo is the two pieces together. Now if you're buying the rod, on a spinning rod, the first eye is much larger and it tapers down to be very small. You'll know if you're purchasing the wrong rod because the first eye will be small and towards the tip of the rod, the same eye will be about the same size. So that's a bait casting rod, so you don't want that one. If you're purchasing a spinning rod that feels comfortable to you, the first eye up from the handle is going to be much bigger and it's going to taper down. Okay, great. Now that I think you guys have a better understanding of how to use your spinning reels and rod setups, and remember, you just trap that line with your finger, open up the bail, momentum backwards, momentum forward, take your line off the finger, let it hit the water. As it hits the water, you can either close it with your hand or begin reeling to engage the bail into a closed shut. I'm your host, Nick the Informative Fisherman, and we'll see you next time. Best of fishing.